How's it going there, YouTube? Coming at you with a quick video this morning. And in all honesty, it's really sad that I gotta make these videos. And it's the first time I actually had to, but it's just getting a little crazy. It's getting to a point where there's so much misinformation going around that, I feel it's prudent and important to call it out sometimes and make sure that you guys have the right information and not just making a snap judgment based off, one video that somebody made that is completely inapplicable. And let me explain here. So as everybody knows, or most of you should know, that I made a decision to purchase DC Audio Level 512s for my next build that I'm going to be doing, which is almost done. Demo's right around the corner. I'm excited for it for sure. And I've had some comments down below, which I've had to delete because, again, I don't want wrong information going out there. But they were saying that, oh, have you seen Parker the Basshead's video that he just made about him blowing that sub on RMS power? And I haven't seen that specific video, but I did watch it because, again, I like to be informed. I like to, see what other people are doing in the car audio world. So I watched it, and that test is a joke. It is completely unpractical and inapplicable to what a typical bass head is going to be doing with these subs. And here's why. Okay, stay with me here. So everybody knows that airspace is so important in a sub, right? You want to run it in the right size enclosure. If you run it in a smaller enclosure, you can put a little more power to it. If you run it in a bigger enclosure, you got to be careful with that because you can start to get to a point where you're basically free airing the sub. But if you do run a bigger enclosure, you definitely got to reduce the amount of power that you send to it, right? That's just common sense. Everybody should know that in the car audio world, right? So I'm probably preaching to the choir here. So here's the problem, all right? For those of you that don't know Parker the Basshead, yeah, he pretty much tests subwoofers, right? He puts them through torture tests and runs sine waves through them and all that kind of stuff, right? To see what they can take. Well, here's one vital error that he made when he tested the DC Audio Level 512. So he uses the same enclosure for every sub that he tests. That right there is a red flag because everybody knows that, if you want the best performance, then you run it in an enclosure built to spec, or at least around the airspace requirement that it needs. So DC Level 5 subs are very unique in such a way where they require and need very little airspace, 1.5 cubic feet to be exact. All right, the box that he put it in was 2.5 cubic feet. And for those of you that don't believe me or know that, well, look at one of his older videos when he first got the box, when he first got it delivered. He goes over the specs. That's a 2.5 cubic foot box. And he put a DC level audio level 5 in there, which requires 1.5 cubic foot, and ran RMS power to it. And not only that, but a sine wave. Obviously, it's going to blow, okay? The reason why the other ones took longer to blow is because they were in the right size box. The Sundown Audio ZV5, the X series, the Apocalypse, they all take over 2 cubic foot boxes. I know for a fact the X series, the ZV5, they require 2.5 cubic feet of space, which happens to be the exact size of the box for his test. So obviously they were, they lasted longer at RMS power because they were in the proper size enclosure. You cannot put a sub designed for a 1.5 cubic foot box in a 2.5 cubic foot box and then send full power to it, expecting it to perform as good as a sub that's designed for that size of box on RMS power. Does that make sense? But that's not going to harm the reputation of DC Audio. I can promise you that. Very well respected name. Tried and tested. And you know what? Wait for my video. Wait for the demo that's coming around the corner here, because these things are absolutely nasty. And if you run them right on proper power, proper electrical, and a proper enclosure, they'll pound for years without a problem. So just want to make this video. And again, I'm not hating out there. Parker the Basshead, hey, if you see this, I'm not hating on you one bit. You do good stuff. I'm not about spreading negativity or, saying, hey, you suck or you shouldn't have done that. Do your thing, man. Keep doing your thing. But as far as this DC audio sub thing, I just wanted to make sure that people knew, why it blew on RMS power. Because it was in the wrong enclosure. I mean, it was in an enclosure that was twice as big almost than what it needed, running a sine wave through it. That ain't gonna fly. And while we're on the subject, I might as well just call out a couple other things here. So I've also heard a lot of people giving grief to the Sundown Audio SFB 8000. Not just that amp specifically, but full bridge amplifiers in general. A lot of people talking trash about the Sundown ones. Here's the deal, okay? Electronics, basically, you get out of them what you put into them. Pretty much everybody that is giving these grief are not running them properly. And if they think they are, there may be something that they're missing, because, I had to do my due diligence and do my research to make sure that I'm running it optimally and not doing anything that I'm not supposed to do. I almost made a mistake myself, because I'm using a line driver and I almost sent an 8-volt preamp signal to that amplifier, which would have destroyed it. After looking a little bit deeper, right, before pulling the trigger on it, I found that they take no more than a 5-volt preamp input. A lot of people miss that step right there, and they wonder why their amp goes into protect, why it doesn't sound good. It's because they're sending too high of a preamp voltage to it, right? These Sundown amps take no more than 5 volts going into it. You need to have proper electrical. You need to make sure your grounds are good. You need to make sure that you don't wire it below an ohm. There's still people that, go below 1 ohm and then again wonder why they blow, wonder why, it's not performing how it should, or there's a lot of distortion or noise on the channel. Again, if you follow the advice of the manual, yes, the manual, the recommendations of the manufacturer of what it takes, what it needs, then 9 times out of 10, you're not going to have any problems and it's going to perform as is. Sure, with anything, there's bad apples, there's lemons, you get a bad unit, and that's true with anything. But 9 times out of 10, right, or 99 times out of 100, whatever you want to say, but more often than not, if you get a piece of gear, get a piece of equipment, right, from a reputable company, Sundown's pretty reputable in the car audio world, and you run it how you're supposed to, right, and don't try to get too much out of too little. Don't try to, squeeze it and just push the envelope there, but, have headroom, right? If you're running, 5,000 watts worth of subwoofers, then don't get a 3,000 watt amp or even a 5,000 watt amp, right? Get a 6,000 or an 8,000 and then adjust the gains accordingly so you have headroom, right? Headroom. People forget about headroom, how important that is, so that you're not stretching your amplifier, right? And trying to get too much out of it, right, with too little, right? Double your electrical, right? More than you think that you need. Double up your grounds, double up, your power runs. And that way you eliminate that variable out of the equation and, you put that check in the box, right? People that have problems with full bridge amplifiers, they're just, honestly, in all honesty, they're doing something wrong. The last thing, it's just so funny, when you go to do something and, I'm doing these build videos for, the YouTube community just to, again, get some inspiration, maybe see, how to do things or, different ways to do things. But then I got a lot of grief on the D4S batteries that I chose to purchase. A lot of people say, oh, well, those are no good, or, why didn't you do this? Or, oh, you should do your own build, or, you should build your own lithium bank, or Headway's better, or, the whatever. If you, whatever floats your boat, if you prefer to save a little bit of money, okay, whatever, and build your own, then do it. Okay, you can get good results doing that, sure. I don't want to build my own lithium bank, okay? I want something already made in a package that is going to serve my needs, okay? And I needed something light, something small that's going to fit exactly where I needed it, okay? I trust Down for Sound and their products. They haven't led me astray yet, and I've been customers of their Down for Sound for years. So it's, it was a smart choice, all right? And I've seen actual tests of these batteries and they hold their own, right? There's a lot of numbers to take into consideration than just amp hours. But yeah, I've seen third-party people do tests on them. Obviously, I'm about to do my own and get my own testimony on them, so I'm not, just taking hearsay and what people think versus what numbers I'm actually going to see. And just so you know, the preliminary numbers are phenomenal. Okay, but the demo video is going to be coming soon. I just still need to produce it and get it all together. But yeah, the great thing about car audio, and I guess the downfall too, is people are very opinionated. But at the end of the day, right, we're all enthusiasts. So no matter what somebody picks, if somebody wants to spend $1,000 on a sub, if somebody wants to, in some people's opinion, overpay for a pre-made lithium battery instead of a DIY and build your own and save some money, if somebody wants to do that, then why give them grief? Why be like, oh, well, you should have done this, or, oh, you should have bought this instead of that? It's like, no, I shouldn't. That's what I wanted, right? I wanted to spend $1,000 on a sub. I wanted to have a lithium battery that's already built, that's compact, that's light and small, it'll fit in my tire well, right? And not have to worry about, balancing it and doing all this other stuff, right? So, my hope, and again, to just spread positivity and to create more cohesive and camaraderie in the car audio world. Because there's a lot of angry people. There's a lot of people that are opinionated, that don't respect other people's choices and respect other people's opinions. And I would really like to see that change, in all honesty, right? But who am I, right? I mean, if I see somebody buy something that I wouldn't buy, that I wouldn't spend money on, I'm not gonna, tell them, oh, well, you shouldn't have bought that. That's a waste of money. Or, ooh, did you see that video? Somebody blew it up. Why would I do that? That's just making people feel bad. I support people. I'm like, hey, good for you, man. That's awesome. Send me a link. I want to see that thing bang, right? So again, maybe that's just me, but I just wanted to put this video out here because at the end of the day, right, we all make our own choices. We all do what we want to do. And that's what's great about car audio is everybody's system's different. We can design it how we want, build it how we want, rebuild it how we want, and just have fun with it, right? This is supposed to be fun, and we should all support each other on that journey. So just want to put that out there, but thanks for tuning in, guys.